Good morning, pickers of the world. How are we doing today? Hey, uh, been kind of a slow start here this morning. I haven't been on. Still have vehicle problems, but let's talk about feeding the machine. No matter what your platform is, you want to keep feeding it. Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm still on my first cup of coffee, so give me a break here. But yeah, feed the machine. So, kind of like flat. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, eBay, SD, Amazon, Craigslist, Facebook. If you're going to make your money, you got to keep pumping your items into those areas. And most important, you want to make sure you do a little keyword research to help you out. And uh, research in general. Uh, um, to me, it really doesn't matter what you want to sell. If you want to sell online, you can just about sell just about anything. Uh, some things you're not going to get a lot of money for. Some things will never sell, and some things will do really well. And the more seasoned sellers who have been at it for years, or have had a tutor who's been at it for years, they pretty much know when they walk into a yard sale, or if they walk into a thrift store, pretty much what they can pick up and what they can sell. For the newbie, it may be a little more difficult. For the newbie, my advice is just list things. Do your research. Don't depend on other people's research for your items. It's very important. And how do we do research? Well, we go to one of the easiest places to do research is probably right in Amazon, eBay, or Amazon, depending on whatever platform you're selling on. Try to do your research in there. That's where you're going to find your prices and where you're going to figure out where you want to be competitive. Now you can go long haul and ask for big dollar for your items, or you can try to be in the middle somewhere so that your item will sell. Generally, what the rule of thumb is what most experienced sellers will tell you. If you're going to sell your items, you want to sell them. You don't want to sit on them. So you want to price your items. So say you look up. We'll just use ball playing cards or something for an example, and you see that you got a Carl Yastrzemski card, and there's 10 of them on there, and you look at the sold listings, and you see that some sold for $5 and some sold for $30, and look at how recent they've sold, and then look at the condition, and then look at the condition of your item, and see where you want to be. Just because that one's sold for $30 doesn't mean that yours is going to sell, because there's maybe 10 other ones sold, and then maybe they only sold for $15 to $18. So think about where you want to be. You want to sell your item, or you want to hang on to it forever? So my advice to you would probably list that somewhere around $18 to $20, depending on what is on the sold, what is being sold. Now, there's a difference between sold and what's being sold, because being sold is what's the competition for today. And the stuff that's already sold was already grabbed up by buyers. So you want to use a combination of both exactly where you stand, and then you want to look at your not non-sold items to see where your competition lays. You might see guys on there that are trying to sell their card for $5, and you might see guys on there asking $50. But just because someone is asking a price for something does not mean that that will ever sell, in either direction. Because it's too low of a price, it's either fake or there's something wrong with it. And then if it's too high, people just think you're nuts. And then especially if there's a bunch of them, if you run in and you're the only item in there, you pretty much can dictate your price, but you need to be careful as well as that. What is it really worth? If you research an item and nobody else has that item, you can do a shot in the dark. It does happen. You need to find similar items. You want to list your item to move it. So keep feeding your machine. And that goes with every item that you list. So do your research. Try to do a little keyword research. Don't try to spend too much time on your listings. Make your listings simple. Understandably, you want to make sure if you're dealing with any length or height or size issues, you want to make sure you plainly put that in your descriptions. And today's new fangled stuff, with the telephones and phones, iPhones, and this and that, sometimes a lot of that stuff doesn't get read because the people are buying that on the fly. They're playing on their phones, and now the phone has become the new computer for a lot of the younger generation. Now, a lot of us older guys, we're still using laptops and desktops, and we're still in the old ancient, which is how we do our listings. I suppose you can list on your phone or whatever, but I guess with me and the older folks, I guess it's like I told my sister. She sent me a laptop. She says, I said, I need a mouse. She goes, what do you need a mouse for? I said, I just need a mouse. I have had desktops as a computer all my life. And then you throw a laptop in front of me and I'm lost, because that little pad that you stick your finger on and you move it around, I'm just not coordinated enough to handle it. So I get very frustrated. So I usually end up getting a mouse to use on my laptops now. So yeah, she thought that was kind of funny. I said, well, since like 1990, when the computers came out, we had mouses. I mean, that's what it was, So, and the mouse and a keyboard, not a keyboard and some little patch of hair that you stuck your finger in there and directed your cursor around. So do your keywords research. I can't elaborate on that any more than that. It's very, very important. Do your own keyword search. Do your own product research. Just don't go by what somebody else is going to tell you on the research. Now, there's plenty of help out there. If you get stumped, we got several groups out there. Any group that belongs to any type of reselling society or reselling groups, there's always somebody that'll help you. But that being said, don't depend on them guys always being there to help you. They'll give you pointers, or they might be able to look it up for you, list it. And if they can look it up, then you should have been able to look it up. I mean, I've been in groups many a time, and some fella or some woman would come in and say, what do you think of this? Is this resellable? Blah, blah, blah. And I would take a minute, only because I saw the listing, and I would pump it into my either eBay or Google. Usually Google. Google will send you to wherever that product was sold recently, or even in the past. So You can Google it. You can Google anything. I mean, and you'll find an answer to it. So Google your product. It'll show up in the listing as an eBay. It was sold on eBay, sold on Etsy, sold on wherever, and you might even find them on Craigslist. I don't think I've seen too much on that from Google into Craigslist, but you can research anything. So let's say you're selling on Facebook and you're looking for an idea. You've got maybe a baby stroller or some hair dryer or something. Go on eBay. See what they're selling for. Check them out. See what you can get. If Facebook is more of a local area type thing, like most little towns have like little flea market, Facebook flea market groups or Facebook yard sale groups in your town. And just about every town has one. And go on eBay, do a little research, figure out what your items were, and then try to sell it to your locals in your area. Sometimes you might sell it quicker there than you will on a bigger platform, depending upon what it is. If it's everyday usable items that people need, clothing, there are buyers on there that buy from Facebook and resell on eBay, and there's people who buy off of eBay and resell on Facebook. I noted that from a woman that was right here in this local area. I was doing a listing, and she copied the listing from eBay. She bought the item. I think it was a pocketbook. She bought the item for, it was like $9 plus a little shipping. And she turned right around and she sold that pocketbook local on her Facebook group page for like $45. So that worked out pretty. She had that sent right to her, and I was looking at her listing, and I happened to pump in the listing name into eBay, and that same pocketbook came right up with the same exact picture. So I sent her a little message, ha, 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 I caught you. She was like, oh, damn. I was like, no, I just was doing some research. I was doing my research because I noticed that she was selling these pocketbooks. And then I just copy and pasted her this little thing right into the eBay thing, and sure enough, popped right up. So I found her on 2 or 3 of them there. And she was buying them for under $20 and doubling her money on Facebook. So there's 100 different ways to do it, and tricks and avenues, and I just thought it was kind of funny, so I kind of messaged her and messed with her a little bit, about it. I'm gonna rat you out, tell the whole world. No, I didn't. Just messing with her, but I was kind of laughing at it because she was, she figured something out. She figured it out. She figured she could buy those pocketbooks off of Facebook and turn around and double her money here at home. So, hey, it worked for her. Whatever you do, just keep pumping them listings into your platforms, and don't be afraid to mix it up. Don't be afraid to put a knick-knack on there now and then. Don't be afraid to put an old alarm clock on there. Don't be afraid to, if you're out rummaging around. I mean, I've had good luck selling old push-button banana phones, I pick them up for $1 or $2 and turn around and twist them for $20 plus shipping, Granted, it's not the big money, If you're in business, it's not always about the big money. I mean, idealistically, it's nice to get $50 and up for everything that you sell online, but it's not realistic. If you're going to run a business and you want to keep a flow of money coming in, it's okay to take those $10 and $20 items. It's not going to hurt you as long as you're making profit. If you're picking stuff up for nothing or you're paying very little for it, turn and burn it. It doesn't matter if, Joe Blow has it on there for $35. If you can get 25 out of yours and it's gone, you've made a huge profit. Maybe that guy that has his for 30, he might have bought it at a thrift store and paid 10 for it. So he has to make that, to make his profit. But if you're, kind of look at what you got. It's nice to double your money on stuff, but it doesn't always work that way. So keep feeding the machine, do your own research, do your own keyword list research, and keep your listings. When you do your listings, don't make it a big common story about Mary Jane took this to the flower shop and this and that, and this is so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. People they're not into the big, long, drawn-out story about how beautiful it was and what you think it is. They want to know what it is. Here it is. This is what it is. It's a X100 whatever DWD-do. The color is blue, and to get some really nice pictures of it, these are the the numbers to it. If it matches up for something else, and if it has any codes or anything like that, or any special numbers, just put those in. Don't make it some big common story, 3-page letter on this damn thing. Just do up a quick listing. You can either use bullets. I myself like to do center struts, but I mean that's just the way I do it, And yeah, don't just keep burning them. Keep burning them in there. Take your pictures, put your stuff in there, make it work. So that was my minute this morning, and Green Mountain Minute, a Green Mountain Picker on the Green Mountain Minute. I hope you enjoyed my minutes. Thank you. Bye-bye.